Hey everybody, this is Tammy, the Fibonacci princess from the Fibonacci room here at Simpler Trading. What I wanted to talk to you about is what is going on in the NQ. This is an NQ daily chart, and as you can see, it has just kind of been a back and forth pattern here for quite a while, ever since that high made on the 2nd of September at 444. Okay, we did come up, have this set up for you down here at 106.37. Bounced. The target off of that setup is 12,931. But then, of course, we did on November 2nd have this pullback. And the target off of that pullback is going to be 12,604. But there is some resistance at 12,531 to 35. We didn't quite get there recently, but close enough, right? And now we have failed and have retraced back to this 618 at 11,502. And that's what I want to talk to you about right now. Because even though it does seem like we've had some crazy action here on the NQ, here on the daily, we are still above the 200, which is this pink dotted line. We are still above the 50, which is the green line. And the 5 and the 13 are still on a buy. So this is still a bullish chart on the daily. Now let's come down to the 120-minute chart and look and see what's going on here. Now the differences on the 120-minute chart is we do use the 8 and the 34 for intraday. And the 8 has crossed under the 34, which would make the intraday 120-minute chart a bearish chart. However, today in the room, I had a setup here, 11,497 to 11,503, and timing for a low this afternoon. Anytime we have these light gray vertical bars for timing, it is within 1 bar of that, okay? So, and the other thing I want you to realize is down here on the bottom where you see these pink histogram lines, each one of these pink histogram lines counts as timing. We just typically take the 2 biggest lines, like the ones you're seeing down here, which these times are in Eastern, that came in at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock Eastern time. But what we're talking about is an entire zone here, okay? So those bars, those heavily weighted bars, come in an hour before and an hour after. Of course, you did see the bounce 2 hours before, to be honest, because this is a 120-minute chart. So the bounce was here with the setup, timing, trigger, trade entry, and then you manage. Okay, let's see when we saw that trigger there. This is my 5-minute chart that I sometimes use in the room. So if the setup was at 11.49.7 to 11.503, and look, that was almost an exact hit, 11.503.25. So at 11.503, which would have been right down here, you have your setup plus your trigger on the 5-minute chart, which is good for a day trade, equals trade entry, and then you manage. What we might manage is when you start getting into some resistance, you want to trail up your stops. And also when you get into your overall target. So right now on the NQ 120, what I have for you is a setup at 11,497 to 11,503. I would put my stop just underneath that. It has triggered on a 5-minute for a day trade. Let's see if it's triggered on a 15-minute for a swing trade. Barely, but I would wait. And it looks like we may get that again here soon. But we do have a 5-minute trigger if you are an overnight trader and want to take that. So setup plus trigger equals trade entry, and then you manage. So here's your setup. You have your trigger. You have your timing. And I love it on a 120-minute chart when the timing and price come together. All right, everybody, that's what I have for you for right now on the NQ. Because it's crossed over to the downside on the 120-minute chart, I do want you to be a cautious bull when we get into this resistance. All right, everybody. I hope you have an awesome rest of the night, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.